CVA's Accura Series, Bergara barrels for guaranteed accuracy, nitride for guaranteed rust proofing, and a rifle guaranteed to be the best muzzleloader you've ever shot. CVA, it's just a better gun.
When we're getting ready to head to the water, we all make sure that we have plenty of lures in our tackle box because we know that that fish may not like the color, the style, the smell, or the action of the lure. So we'll keep changing till we find the one that he bites. It's called the art of temptation. And you know, every day we face temptation as well. And I can assure you the devil has plenty of lures in his tackle box, and he's not going to give up until he finds the right one. In the book of Matthew, chapter 4, it tells us a story about Jesus one day going and spending some time alone. And then Satan showed up to tempt Jesus 3 different times. And each time Jesus refused the temptation by quoting Scripture. And through this, Jesus tells us that that's the way that we can defeat the temptation as well, by knowing Scripture and quoting it to the temptation. In Psalm 119:11, David says, I'll hide thy words in my heart, that I may not sin against you. So my challenge for you this week is this. Take a Bible verse, and each week, memorize a new one. Hide it in your heart. You never know, the verse that you memorize this week may be the one that rescues you next week. Thanks for watching again this week. Our prayers are continuing to be with you. And as always, keep shooting straight.
All right, this next segment's being brought to you by my good buddy Steve Brandon and his crew over at Soulshine Pizza. They're at 4021 Hughes Crossing at Suite 101 in Franklin, Tennessee. Or y'all can give them a call, 615-379-7767. They can take care of your catering needs. They've got lunch specials Monday through Friday. Stop in there and tell Steve thank you for all he does for us here at the show. All right, guys, welcome back to the studio. Had a great night so far, hadn't we? We've covered a couple of good hunts and trying to go over some a little bit of crappie information. But what I want to do now, guys, we're actually going to talk with Anthony. Now, you keep up with this stuff a lot, Anthony, and guys, if you want to follow, you know, the numbers, the harvest numbers, CWD information, things like that, Anthony keeps on top of that as good as anybody I know. And y'all share a lot of that every Tuesday night, you know, on Tennessee Outside. It's constantly, but let's talk for just a minute, first of all, about harvest numbers. I mean, we're kind of at that halftime period here. You know, bow season has faded out in Middle Tennessee, you know, not CWD. Correct. We're not CWD, right. So bow season has faded out here, and muzzleloaders fishing come. Where do we stand right now?
Well, the whole state as a whole, since the velvet hunt to today, is we've killed 21,496, and that's up 4,158 from last year, or 24%.
Okay.
And pretty much we're up across the board. Just of antlered bucks up 25%, buttonheads up 11, buttonheads up 30. The whole state is up 25. Antlered bucks is up 11%, button bucks up 31, and does up 37%.
Wow, that's a lot. Been a good bow season. That's a lot. I mean, it is.
It is. That's a lot. And I didn't have just the archery numbers, but for this week, but I backed it all up since we started using rifles. But the top 5 counties as of today is Montgomery County's leading the way with 578, Sumner County 520. Cumberland 520, Sullivan 520, and Hamilton 509. And to round out the top 10 is Giles, Wilson. Your county hangs in there.
We're trying to hang in every week. We don't want to get too popular. We don't get too far up there on the line.
And then Hawkins, Ray, and Lincoln. So, you know, one thing that really stood out to me was the fall turkey season this year. A lot of people aren't aware. They think the fall turkey season is only when that 2-week shotgun season comes in. But you can start taking turkeys opening day of archery season, and what people don't realize, Brandon, you can legally harvest 77 turkeys in the fall.
And explain a little bit why that is. You're exactly right. How is that?
The fall turkey season is not a statewide season like it is in, you know, during the springtime. Right. So you're allowed, it's a county-wide limit. And the reason, even though it's 95 counties in Tennessee, 18 of them are closed. So if you got 77 counties you can go hunt, you can bust 77 birds.
Wow.
During
That's
the
right.
fall season.
And I'm so glad you brought that up because that's very misunderstood.
It sure is. Most
if you have
people-
a farm in Wilson County and a place in Davidson County and a place in Cheatham County,
And
you know,
Sumner
these
and
counties
so
are all,
forth.
hey, you can go.
That's right. And
get one of
it's
these
not
counties.
one a day either.
And it is bearded now.
That's right.
So a
Yes.
lot of, you know, now that
Bearded.
changed last year, but now it's bearded.
This is the third year.
That's
third
right, because they
season.
had a meeting, so
Yeah.
either way, it's
Yeah.
bearded only now, but one a county, not statewide, per county.
And it's not
And that
per
makes a big
day.
difference. Yes.
So you know, if you could go hunt 5 counties in a day, which it's easy to hunt 2 or 3, you know.
Yeah,
Right.
if you're in the right
but
area.
yeah, you could take 3 bearded birds right there.
Yeah.
You sure could. A lot of people don't realize that. And Hickman County was the #1 county with 16. And our bear numbers is up. They're only up 3%, but it's been 348 bears taken since the start of bear season.
They're you know, our bear populations have really climbed a lot. I mean, they're coming further down our direction,
Absolutely.
number
It's
one.
full of
They're
them.
all the time closer and closer into us here in Middle Tennessee. But the populations have climbed, and there's been a lot more successful hunters, you know, going up there bear hunting in the East
And
Tennessee
you know,
area now.
East Tennessee and Oneida and stuff, there's certain places you can bear hunt, and then on this side of the road, you can't bear
Oh,
hunt.
you have to be careful.
You know what I mean? You got to
really
look for those zones and stuff and check that out close.
Yeah.
And
You
it's the
absolutely
same
do.
way in Unit CWD, especially when you got a farm where the Unit L and Unit CWD split it. Well, one side you got to use a bow right now, the other side you can use a rifle.
Right.
You know, so you got to be careful on that.
You read your regulations.
That's right.
Of all things, make sure right now you are reading your regulations because, and we hit on that a little bit last week, Dayton,
Yeah.
but you do have to be sure that you're checking where you're hunting at as far as where you can take a deer out of that county,
'Cause it's
where
all
you can
different.
bring one from, and it's so much differences, and that's not to worry anyone. It's not a big deal, but just be sure to look into what county you're hunting in, what are the regulations, where can I take a deer to get processed, can I take it back to my house. It's a lot of things you want to check
And they
in,
have plenty of
before you
referral
get going.
pages that you can go
They
back
do.
to look at.
Use their app, and you can
Yeah.
search a lot of that.
Also,
Guys,
too, CWD. If
we
I
got
got time, just a second. Hardeman County is the worst right now. We're running 18%.
Wow.
That's bad.
That's
There
real
is
bad.
certain parts of Hardeman and Fayette, like on Ames Plantation, they estimate 60% of the deer down there have it. Fayette County's coming in at 16%. So we've had 11, Fayette 10, Tipton's had 1 so far this year. But I can promise you in the next 2 to 3 weeks, they're going to start piling up.
They will. They will. Well, guys, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back with some more Southern Woods and Waters.